This is Dr. Karmen Smith.
Hi, I'm Lauren Smith, and welcome to part 2 of our video, trying to help everyone, especially like millennials and people my age, understand what ways we can be better, try and help us during this quarantine, this coronavirus pandemic, and make sure that we come out of this a little stronger. We're here with my mom, who's talking about the 5-pointed star from her book, and we're on to the third point of that star, which is
Gratitude. So we've talked about love, compassion, and gratitude is incredibly important. It's the fast track to being in that love mind.
okay.
So having a gratitude practice is so important. So this can be in a journal form, like right when you wake up in the morning, you can write down what you're grateful for, or when you go to bed at night, writing down what you're grateful for. Even in the morning, if you get up and you're just like so grateful for that day, I have an opportunity to, be in this day and discover what I need to discover in this day. Now, I'm kind of surprised to know that some people don't have a gratitude practice.
I would argue, I think, especially for my generation, because again, I'm a '90s baby. I'm not, I may look old, but I'm not that old. We don't really have that kind of complex, and I think that definitely can be a problem. Just think, if you got your $1,200 stimulus, be gratitude for that. If you have unemployment, you're gratitude for that. If you have a roof over your head, you're gratitude for that. Even at the very basic thing, I had a friend at one point, pardon me, I'm going to do a story here just real quick on gratitude. I had a friend one time, he was having a real hard time. He's my age, a '90s baby. And he wasn't grateful for anything. And I said, one day he was just whining about everything. And keep in mind, this guy had a house, he had like 3 or 4 cars, he had a really nice career job, he was really entrepreneurial, he could make stuff with his hands and his mind. And he was just always just so down on himself. And I said, at the end of the day, like, are you grateful for your hands, your feet, your eyes? And he said, I'm not even grateful for that. And what happened was, I think a day or two later, he came home from work, his hands were sore because I guess he was working on his cars or something, and he fell asleep with his hands in ice, and he woke up and they were black. And he knew that he probably couldn't save his hands, and lo and behold, they did cut off his hands. Now, what the interesting transformation was from this is, instead of him going into an even deeper rut, he said, wow, now I have to be grateful. I'm grateful I'm still alive. Maybe he's grateful now for his prosthetic hands, that he can still do things. Every little thing, he can brush his teeth, he can sign a check, whatever he can do, he's grateful for. So even when you're at your low point, there's still things that can happen. Just be grateful for that you can breathe, that you can eat, that you can taste, that you can see. If everything else is in your world terrible, just look at even the small things and be grateful for. Because at the end of the day, I guarantee you there's a lot of things to be grateful for. So
that's an excellent story, Lauren. And I want to talk about the 4 strands of gratitude really quickly. And they're easy to memorize. First of all, you're grateful for everything that you can see. Like Lauren was saying, your hands, your breath, even your house, whatever you have, your stimulus check. So you're grateful for everything that you can see. The second thing is you look for things to be grateful for. So if you're going out on a walk and you see a dandelion and it just is a beautiful yellow flower, you just are like, oh my gosh, it is the most beautiful flower. Or that mountain, I've walked by that a million times, but my goodness, today, the clouds and everything, it looks great. So the second one, remember, is looking for things, actively looking for things to be grateful for. The third one is look into your past and look at all of the things that brought you to this moment and be grateful for them. I'm grateful that, 5 years ago I got that job, or I happened to be at the right place at the right time. So go back into your past, like looking in a rearview mirror, and look at each item and go, oh my gosh, I'm so grateful for that. And then the fourth most powerful thing, after you've mastered all the other 3 practices, is you are grateful for things that are not here yet. Like, we're grateful for the vaccine, and I feel so excited in my body that I'm grateful, and I'm bringing that into manifestation. So I'm grateful for, and then it hasn't manifested yet. Your job is to be so vibrationally attuned to what you're grateful for, that it materializes. It may not be today, it may not be tomorrow, but I know that this works, and it's called faith. But what you're doing is quantumly pulling it out of the ether, so to speak, based on your vibrational energy of gratitude. So those 4 strands of gratitude really elevate you to a high level of vibration. And we always want to vibrate high, because remember, when we're vibrating high, we're on that radio station that we talked about, where things are going to manifest based on your thought process. And if you're in that lower frequency of fear, doubt, and worry, you're going to be manifesting all of that as well. And we don't want that.
So essentially, I guess what you're saying is during these high times, we don't want to be on the radio station of like, this will never end, this is doom and gloom. We want to be grateful for the day that comes,
Yes.
when things, are over, and we can smartly go out and, resume our lives in a better manner.
And everyone's healthy, and we can visualize that with gratitude.
Yeah, we're good at visualizing. Come on, we read books, we play video games, we're good at this.
Yes,
So,
yes,
okay.
we got this.
Well, thank you for that point of that start, and watch us for the final video, and we'll bring it all together, bring it all home. And like I said, this is all meant to make us be better during these times, to help us during these times. At the end of the day, the goal is that this alleviates a lot of stress, this alleviates a lot of the heartache that happens, a lot of our worries that are going on right now, and just for my generation and everyone's generation, just because like I said, we can't just drown ourselves in video games, we can't just drown ourselves in our friends. Obviously, this quarantine has shown that stuff's not working. We're still having those anxieties. So hopefully, and I believe that this will help us and get us on the right path, to help us during this quarantine, and then of course later on after the quarantine with our lives. So,
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yep, thank you guys.